Health Organization estimates that 70 million people with disabilities around the world cannot afford wheelchairs. Since 2001, Free Wheelchair Mission has helped the world's poor gain mobility, independence, and dignity by providing wheelchairs.
What they see first is your shoes. And probably the dust that you've created by getting to them is now settling down on their heads. They feel so helpless. I mean, I could step on their fingers and not even notice it.
Some countries, it's just systemic poverty. Others, like Angola, it is war and unrest. And we've provided wheelchairs to the refugee camps, for example, like in Syria and Iraq. Vietnam, certainly landmines were an issue, and they are an issue in some of the areas that we serve.
When mothers are pregnant with a child and malnutrition, the mother, sometimes it's just birth defects. Sometimes it's they couldn't afford or couldn't get to a doctor to heal something that could have easily been treated in a first world country like the United States.
Pedro is a father of 2 children. He sells a Peruvian dessert on the street. It's a set of stairs that's between a lower highway and an upper highway where people cross every day to change buses.
Yo cuando era muy chico, de los 4 o 5 años, me detectaron la enfermedad, que era una distrofia muscular. Empecé a perder fuerza y como me golpeaba mucho, me caía, me veía de cara al suelo. Perdía la fuerza en los pies y me golpeaba mucho la frente, me rompía la frente.
Buenos días, ¿cómo estás? Hola, mi nombre es Clever.
Y ese entonces dejé de caminar y en ese momento mi madre fallece por lo que éramos pobres, mi papá ya. Y ahí me dejó para el abandono ya mi papá. Y así, caminaba así por el suelo como un sapito.
Junto con la silla vamos a entregarte un manual para que ya de una vez puedas usarla. ¿Te parece bien?
My students and I in the physical therapy department have been involved with the Free Wheelchair Mission in developing a training program and training materials.
Pongo mis manos de esta forma y lo bajo.
We want the product not to go by itself, but rather with instructions about proper use, how to maneuver it up ramps, up and down curbs.
Cuidado con tus dedos. Ajá. Justo aquí, todos nuestros datos de contacto. Hay un número de teléfono.
It's important for the wheelchair user to move in order not to develop skin ulcer, pressure ulcers. It's important that they are active and moving, and so we created various exercises for them to do.
A las personas que no se sienten vencidos, que sigan adelante y que nunca pierdan las esperanzas, que por más que estemos como estamos, con la discapacidad que tengamos, siempre Dios va a estar con nosotros.
Flor is super sweet. She's 12 years old, and her story is one that I've heard quite a bit of times, but it's frustrating to me as a medical professional. She received a vaccine as an infant that caused a reaction, and she had a fever for many, many days. And the family didn't have money to take her to a hospital. So she had meningitis, she was very sick. The meningitis affected her neurological abilities. She crawls, She can stand for a period of time against the support, but she's not able to walk at all. Right now, her life is pretty small because her house is very close to her school, and the school has approximately, I think, 15 kids. But once they hit junior high, they go to a different school, and that requires more traveling.
Her mother, who was a very short lady, in the picture we have of her carrying Flora's feet are almost dragging on the ground. And she's going to continue to grow, and her mother's not going to get any taller. So at some point, there's not going to be a lot of carrying going on, and that'll be pretty much the end of Flora's mobility.
With the wheelchair, I think that will open up opportunities for her to extend her education if her family chooses to do that.
¿Le va a enseñar el señor cómo subirla?
Okay, hold on just a minute.
¿Te gusta? Qué bueno, qué bueno.
Yo agradezco al Señor, a todos los representantes de corazón por apoyarme, por mi niña.
I help lead the operations for the organization and the strategy. And tonight we're having a screening in Los Angeles. We're trying to expand our support and build awareness in Los Angeles about our work. And the screening is Because Nobody Should Have to Crawl, which is a Visionaries documentary series that we were very fortunate and honored to be chosen. And they filmed us, and more importantly, they filmed the millionth wheelchair distribution that we did last year.
Fantastic.
And so we're very excited. We're going to be able to show all of our guests tonight that distribution.
Well, Free Wheelchair Mission has a lofty goal because they've done their 1 million chair.
Yes.
And now they're going to do another million by 2025.
Yes, half the time.
Okay, so what's the plan?
Well, it starts with building awareness. We tell everybody, if you just tell 3 people about our work and tell people what the need is. And the need is that there are 70 million people in the world, according to the World Health Organization, that need a wheelchair at any given time. And so if 3 people are told at any given time that this is the need, and then if people donate a wheelchair, which is really for us just $80, then we can make a real difference and do it in half the time that we did it before. It's not just about one person getting the chair, it's about the full community, the family that's impacted. So I guess the next thing is really to create more awareness about how a wheelchair can transform an individual's life, but also the life of the community at large, and even in theory, the country, because it helps with providing opportunities for education, opportunities for jobs and independence. And a lot of the developing world is plagued by chronic health issues, medical issues, and if we could just be a little part of the solution, I think in the long run, it makes the world a better place.
I'm Jeanette Seha, and I'm a proud global ambassador for the Free Wheelchair Mission, located in Irvine, California. I'm originally from Orange County, California, and I'm so grateful to have discovered this nonprofit organization. Recently, I was the MC for the screening Because No One Should Have to Crawl in downtown Los Angeles, where it highlighted the 1 millionth wheelchair recipient.
Amaina gange namuwayanisha nebankobera nalemalira ku myaka 2 natambulaku butya kanalwala musuda bwenalwala musuda nesika kati mukwesika ebigere byabanga bize itale nga tibyefunulula.
People with disabilities do not have access to mobility or cannot afford mobility. So most of them stay in their houses or their homes, and they're not able to go very far from there. Most of the people with disabilities are marginalized or left out. Without mobility, there's very little that people can do. When you receive a wheelchair, it just changes everything. You're totally in a whole new world when you get a wheelchair. I think the first thing mobility does is instill the perspective in a person with a disability is, now I can. Now I can do this. So you're basically free to do what you have the capability to do. We need to realize that given the opportunities that other people have, people with disabilities are able to achieve as much as other people are able to. What we need is to open up our hearts and minds to give them the opportunities.
It's millions of lives that have been impacted by the gift of a wheelchair. So we want to honor and thank and welcome Don Schoendorfer.
You know, we started out talking about families, mainly focusing on families. Actually, mainly focusing on individuals. We were trying to get the person up off the ground, but then we realized there's a family that's so happy to see their loved one get up off the ground, and not only that, we've eliminated a huge burden that they were carrying because they were literally the wheelchairs. But they're still, the people we give wheelchairs to, they don't have much of a voice. People on both sides of this sort of fence in between mobility and disability are hearing this for the first time. And we're giving these people a voice. And it's going to work. The world is going to wake up to the capacity that people with disabilities have. His name was Anouk, and he was just so happy to be a free man again. His voice was heard. And that's what Free Wheelchair Mission is doing. Now I've got a different perspective. We're not just helping individuals or their families. We're changing the world. You are helping us change the world in their view about people with disabilities. Now you've given off almost 1.2 million wheelchairs.
We're doing the first step of a huge battle that's not even won in prosperous countries like the United States.
It's a dream that Don had. Of course, not 1 million in Peru, but 1 million wheelchairs, 1 million lives changed, 1 million people that are no longer in the dirt.
You could say maybe it's a turn in the page to the next chapter, but the book is going to be a long book.
The 1 millionth chair, Peru.
Yes.
Right there.
Free Wheelchair Mission believes in a world that everyone who needs a wheelchair should have one. The goal is to deliver 1 million chairs by 2025.
The mission is to get people up off the ground, as many as possible. We want to make sure that they feel loved. When you're in this wheelchair, we want you to feel like you're in God's hands, that He's protecting you.